Hey, Johnnie Roberts, welcome back to another great episode of your podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Up in northern Michigan today, enjoying a beautiful sunshine um, summer
Oh,
day here in Michigan.
that's great. We'll have to make sure we do one of these episodes in about 6 months when you're up there freezing to death because it's so cold. I'm
We
glad you're
will
up
be.
there. You're living the life, and that's phenomenal. We are talking last time we talked on the podcast. The episode was talking about the number one fear of most retirees, which is running out of money. You talked about the reason for that really is one of the three-legged stool legs has been taken out, and that's the leg of pension. And we ended that episode, Johnny, with a short talk about the difference between the two phases of life, really, in finances: the accumulation phase versus the distribution phase. Unpack, kind of put some definition around those two phases, first of all, and then let's dive into them a little bit more.
So yeah, the accumulation phase is just when you are building your retirement, when you're building your retirement nest egg, your wealth, all those type of things. So that takes place over, 30, 35 years. Most folks now are starting, they get their job, they're 25, 26 or whatever, and they're in their first real kind of serious job. They sign up for the 401k. Okay, they started their accumulation phase. Mom and dad are like, you got to do your 401k. Okay, I will, and they start out and then they begin that process. So they're putting money aside and that accumulation phase starts and it's going to go on from 25 to 60, 65, whatever it is. So they're funding it. What's going to happen during that 35, 40 years? You're going to see markets go up, you're going to see markets go down, all that type of stuff. But there's guidelines, right? You can't just start taking money out of it anytime you want to, right? You're forced to kind of leave it in there and you continue to contribute. So over time, that's still going to continue to grow really solid because you can take the hits because you're still funding it. So yeah, it's going to drop some, but you're still putting money into it. Then it's going to recover and grow up and all that kind of thing. So it's a different mindset. You're just like, okay, I'm just going to put money in there and it's going to do what it's going to do, kind of thing, right? Most people don't really um, manage it super well when it's in the 401k. They just kind of do whatever they're supposed to do. We do work with a phenomenal team that does help people with 401k. So if you're out there and you're like, I don't know what to do with my 401k, get a hold of us. We can help you. It's a free service we do to help you figure out what's the best plan for your 401k, just so you know, because it is important. So that's the accumulation phase, putting money aside, the hits I'm going to take from losses and stuff. Okay, it's going to happen, but it's still going to grow. I'm accumulating my wealth. Boom, I retire. What happens? I'm not funding it anymore. So I got this pot of money. What's that money for? We talked about the stool, right? It's my
Yeah.
one of my two legs is all I got. My Social Security. Okay, I'll turn that on. Now I've got all this money here that I've got to live off of. I've got to make it last. So now we're in the distribution phase where I have to start drawing all that like income. And that's how it's treated. It's all taxable for the most part for most folks. It's most people do pre-tax type situations. So it's just like income now. So now I've turned on my income and now what do I do to make sure that stool is very solid? I want to, during the distribution phase, make that as strong as possible. So now if there's a loss, now I'm not contributing to it. Now I'm drawing money from it. So it's reverse. So if I take a hit from a loss and I draw off it for income, it goes down like this.
Right.
And then I draw more out and then it takes another loss. Okay, the market will recover, but it's recovering from way down here.
Right.
So those hits that you take as you're drawing income out of it, man, it's something that's going to be there and hit you forever. So that's how you can drain your money quicker during the distribution phase if you don't have a plan to say, I need to make this the most safe and secure part of my stool of retirement right now that I possibly can, because that's what I have.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can
And
I
that's
make this stronger and turn it into potentially, we'll talk about it, a third leg again, something that I can rely on.
Yeah. And that's really important because during the accumulation phase, people are kind of building the nest egg, right? You're building this nest. Well, when you move into retirement, then your building project is over. And now you're going to live on that or a portion of that. And what people have to understand are the rules are different. And I think there's a conversation here, Johnny, the difference between a financial planner, somebody who would help you accumulate money, versus a retirement planning expert like you, somebody who's really schooled in that distribution, the protection, the safety, the security to make sure that nest egg lasts as long as you need it to. Unpack a little bit of that, not to and hear us out. I don't want to disparage financial advisors who help you build that nest. There's a great place for them. They just don't understand all the tools that are available during that distribution phase because that's just not where they live. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I think so. I mean, every field that's out there has specialists that deal with different phases in your life, different aspects of your life, right? Depending on where you are. You don't go get, you know, things like colonoscopies when you're 25 years old. You do that when you get older. So there's a specialist or whatever you deal with at that phase in your life, and as you get older, you transition more from, okay, the financial advisor that's just going to keep advising and building wealth and put money in risky stocks and that kind of stuff. There's a time for that, which is fine. But now I'm retired. Does this person help me figure out how to live on and retire and secure my money? Are they really a retirement planner? Are they going to help me with tax planning? Are they going to help me with income planning? Are they going to help me with Social Security help? All those type of aspects that come together to plan a proper retirement. Most people we sit with, I'll be honest with you, they'll sit down with us and be like, "Yeah, I got a financial guy that's been helping me, doing really good lately." Well, guess what? The market's been going up for 16 years. Everybody's doing really good lately. Everybody. It isn't just your specialist is phenomenal. Everybody's been phenomenal. Okay. But now you're at a transition in a phase in your life where I've got other things that I've got to look at. And like I said, most people sit down with us and say, they've never told me about this with the tax situation. They've never told me how this will affect Social Security. They've never told me how this might impact long-term care type concepts or RMDs, required minimum distributions down the road. I didn't know about those type of things. And not that those people don't know about them, the financial advisors, but that's not really their specialty. Their specialty is to manage money, grow wealth, and that type of thing. Nothing against them. Everybody has a time in their life for different things. Retirement planning to me is I'm getting that place in my life. I've got a holistic approach. I've got to look at a bunch of different things now. I've got another 25 or 30 years, right? I'm 65, man. There's a good shot I'm going to be around till 90,
That's
almost
right.
as long as your working years.
Yeah.
So how do I plan for the next 25 years of my life? And
Yeah.
there's a lot of aspects that go into it.
Absolutely. And you've got to look at it. You've got this pot of money, this nest egg you've built up, and you do have to protect it because you do have other things coming at that nest egg, right? You've got taxes. We'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. You've got inflation. You've got long-term care considerations that you need to take care of. You've got market fluctuations. I mean, there are so many things that people don't understand. They go, well, I've got $1 million. I'm okay. Well, $1 million today isn't what it was, 10 years ago. So you may be okay, but you may not be. And if that $1 million or so gets impacted by a downturn in the market and higher taxes and inflation, well, that takes a big hit and it causes more concern. And that's one of the things, Johnny, that you do with your clients is you put them at ease because you help build this retirement shield around their finances in all aspects. You take a very holistic approach to retirement planning. And I think that's what I want to make sure our audience understands. It's not just, oh, you got money. Okay, let's do this. No, it's what's going on in life and what are some things we need to plan for and how do we protect the money you've worked so hard to accumulate? How do we ensure it's going to be there so it'll be there over time? And one of the ways you do that, Johnny, is by taking that stool, that two-legged stool that most people are trying to sit on right now because they don't have a company pension plan, most people, and you can help them create a personal pension plan that will be grafted into their retirement plan. And we want to talk about that actually in the next episode to be able to take that money that you've accumulated over years and use a portion of it to create your own personal pension plan for money that you can never outlive. That fair?
Oh, that's exactly right. My thing is this. We talked about my grandpa in the last episode, and a lot of people's maybe parents. It's my grandparents, but like I said, they knew what they were getting in 1981, 1982. And most folks would love that today, to be able to wake up January 1 and know, I know what I'm going to get this year. You know, that security, that safety. I'm still going to have some money that I can grow that's outside, that savings money or whatever, that's still going to grow, and I can take my trips and do my stuff I want to do above and beyond. But I also would like to have that sense of security to know that day one, I'm going to get this amount of income that year. And you can still do that. People can still do that with retirement planning, proper retirement planning, and tax planning and that type of thing. So you mentioned the person with $1 million. I always tell people, we have people come in, sit with us, all different types of money, but say it's $1 million and it's all from this 401k they saved and they moved it over to this brokerage or whatever it may be. And we'll sit down and we'll say, okay, do you know what the value of that $1 million is? And really it's all taxable, right? So really it's probably 800,000, $750,000, right? If you said, I want all my money today, guess what you're going to get? 700 grand, something like that. So it's not even all yours. You don't really control the whole thing, but with proper planning, you can help make more of that yours, um, keep it safer, and control it in a much better way and build that third-legged stool again.
Wow, that's excellent. We're going to launch into the next episode on that aspect of how do we help create that third leg, that what I call that personal pension plan that grafts into your safe, secure retirement. So, Johnnie Roberts, thank you so much for the wealth of knowledge you have, the way you're sharing it, and the help that you give to people so that they'll have a great retirement and they can retire at new heights. I know it's your company name. It's the name of your Amazon best-selling book. They can get a copy at your website. So I look forward, Johnnie, to another episode talking about this three-legged stool. Thanks for being here. Have a great day, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. See you soon.